Greetings, this is Randy Siebold, and I'm here to help explain to you how to get the MdX inventory started in your church. So I'm going to share with you some resources that we have put together and a little bit of an overview of this, and hopefully this will be helpful. So we'll start out. What I'd like you to do is, what you'll want to do is be able to see where the MdX inventory is housed. So that's at this URL, mdxsda.org. So if you come here, you'll be able to hit this website, and there's lots of resources here. There's information about us, news, contact us, and then there's this resources link, which also you can hit up here. Just click on this. And if you're specifically interested in inventory, you can link here, but let me just show you what happens if you click here. This brings you to the main resources page, and what you will be interested in for this video is the MdX inventory page. So how do you get the MdX inventory started in your church? How do you do that? So we'll click here. This will bring us to that page, and now this is the big question: how do you bring it to your church? So 3 different main phases here. There's a preparation at the meeting, support materials. So I'm going to go over this briefly. The page itself should be helpful, and this is just going to be able to walk you through with a little bit more detail. So first of all, what you'll want to be able to do is download the MdX inventory. So if we click on this, it downloads a PDF file, and this may look familiar. This is the MdX inventory in its paper form. So there's 10 habits, starting with 1 and 2, adding all the way up to habit 10, and it's a self-rating. And so what the goal is for each of the churches to be able to better understand their own level to which they have find themselves on this continuum between Church A and Church B. And there's videos inside of this resource center down here that will help you understand how to the Church A and Church B, if you want to understand that. Here, Dr. Brantley talks about the MdX inventory and how to go through the process. So that's another one to look at. This one brings in some of the technology. So the other piece that we've added now is this MdX inventory graph. So once you download that form, make copies enough so each one, so be able to distribute at your meeting. This will give you make sure that you have these in your hand as you go to your meeting. Also, one of the things we recommend doing is having a graph of your inventory, of the score of your inventory. So we've created a simple inventory graph form, which will actually open up this file here. So you can download this, open up this MdX inventory graph PowerPoint file. So it gives you a little bit of instructions. I will walk through these briefly for you here, or you can watch the direct video on this. The first thing on the instructions is what not to do. So the first thing not to do is don't start the PowerPoint presentation. Start it into slideshow mode. We just want to work with it in editing mode, so don't do that. So first thing what we'll do is we'll move over to slide 2, and then once we're in slide 2, this chart here, we're going to double click on the chart. When we do that, what's going to happen up inside of this bar is going to change. It's going to automatically move from home, and it's going to put a new tab over here, and these are going to change. Just watch especially this right side. All right. So when we double click on the chart, that whole top is going to change. Then we're going to look for this button, Edit Data in Excel. Once we see that, we're going to click on that, and then we'll find an Excel sheet will open up. Well, once we open that up, then we're going to take a look at the then we're going to update the scores. And this is what you will do in your meeting with your school board or your church board, your elders meeting, your strategy committee, or even your church. You update those scores. When you return back to the inventory here, it'll update that chart. So let's just walk through those same instructions here. We'll just do it now. So I click on this, as it mentioned, move to slide 2. And then it says to double click in this area. Well, right now, these 10 habits, each one represented by a different color, have different scores put in them. You can see here's a value of a 6, this is a value of a 5, there's a value of a 4. So these are just to show you how this can be graphed. So what we're going to do now, it says to double click on the chart. So we're going to double click on the chart, and we notice things change just a little bit here. All right, and this thing pops out here, which we don't need, so we can close that, or we can leave it open, it doesn't matter. But this is the big thing that does matter. We want to click on editing this data. Well, that opened up a new window for me, and here are those scores in here. So if I go back in here and I type in 1s to all of these, what you'll see over in the background here, if I move out of the way, you can see that these scores have now changed down to 1s. All right. So what I would suggest that you do is, this is how this is to be used. So this is open during the time that you're doing the assessment with your church, with your of course the church board, elders, strategy committee. Whatever group you're doing that with, have this open, and you can just have it up on the projector or your TV or whatever you're using for a display. And then as the groups go through the process and they come up with a score, well, you can just go ahead and put your score in here. And as the next group comes up and they report, they come to consensus, and you can just record the scores as your scores are being shown up. So when this is all done, then all you have to do is move this out of the way or even close it, and then this will show you a visual representation of the scores, which is what we find to be very important. Now, this is a good time at this point, if you wanted to then actually display this, this can then show you what that looks like. So this then is a good discussion piece to be able to show how we want to be up in this area. Well, the goal, of course, is to be up in the 9s or 10s. It's good and strong, and you can feel good about this. Anywhere in this area is really growth area. We're really looking for a stronger growth. So this is just to help you see some areas of where you want to be. So to move back, if you're in this page, this is how to get into that PowerPoint file. And then at the meeting, then it gives you a suggestion. So set up your computer, get the display all ready, make sure that this you have the inventory graph working. Divide the team up into small groups, have each one, make sure each person has a copy of the inventory sheet, and then give each group one of those 10 items on the actual inventory. So you remember there's 10 on the inventory. Actually, we can come back over here. There's 10 on the inventory. And so each group, so, you know, one group might take habits 1 and 2, another group might take 3 and 4, another might take 5, 6, 7, and another take 8, 9, and 10. So then each of your groups, they get to spend some time then, give them some time, and, you know, this might take 15, it might take 30 minutes, to rate your church on each of the items. As they're working on that in groups, you can go back, make sure everything's working. And then after they're done with that, then have the teams report their scores in just to the whole group, and then share why they rated as they did. So this will give you an opportunity to go ahead while you're doing that, and then you'll be able to go back and you'll be able to jump over and click on this or open the data in Excel and go ahead and change the scores. So as they're reporting scores, you can come in here and show the new scores that they've rated as they report the scores. And then when you're all done, that's when you can jump back, and then this will be the new visualization for that. You'll be able to view it here, or even put it up on your projector and just have that take up the whole screen. So as we take a look at this, so when all the teams have finished on their reporting, you have all the scores recorded and graphed, then you can call their attention to the graph, show them how well they're doing on being a mission-driven church. So here's the files. You can download them here or up in line here, the same things. This is the PDF file, which is this here. You can download that here. Or, and you can also take a look at this PowerPoint file. There's also, as I mentioned earlier, a couple of videos from Dr. Brantley, and then also on how to use the technology. So I hope that's helpful, and God bless.